Good morning, YouTube. I guess I've been on a video making streak, but I don't think anyone's complaining. This morning, I'd like to demonstrate the two scanners that I use for everyday carry. These two. This one mostly for local, and then this one for traveling. And excuse me, well, I'm gonna go over. Uh, and I carry them in this backpack here. For those that aren't familiar with my ways. But the first one I'm going to demonstrate, this is what I use for local and maybe a little bit in the surrounding area too for listening. But it's a Whistler WS1010. I got it on clearance at the Walmart in Harahan back in August of 2024. And actually, this antenna originally was from a Radio Shack Realistic Pro 32 that it came off the assembly line in May of 1987, and I acquired it mint in the box in Dayton, Ohio in May of 2019, which is crazy. But the scanner itself bit the dust, but have the antenna because these old antennas they're oldies but goodies. And actually, one could argue that the Radio Shack Realistic Pro 32 is a very distant ancestor, but a direct one to the Whistler WS1010A. And I wrote detailing that when I had my blog, but I'm gonna go over what banks. I'm not gonna mention any or all the frequencies. I haven't decided that yet. But on this scanner, bank 1 is for local fire departments, and I think I got one law enforcement frequency in this bank too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do. I have what is the car-to-car frequency for the Westwego Police Department also in this bank, and I don't want to create ill. They're critical when most of their communications are done on the LWIN system, anyways. But what's funny, baby? Off.
You want to show what I'm doing?
In a bit. That's weird, baby. That's weird. But it's really non-critical communications that they use on that car-to-car frequency, and I think it's more used as a backup. But they do use it every day, intermittently, throughout the day. I'm not gonna say what it is. Save that it's a VHF high band frequency and it's in FM. And if you know what you're doing, you can find it in the FCC database. But the reason why I don't want to give it out is Dwayne Munch, the police chief of Westwego, he's a good man. He's been kind to me and my wife. And I don't know if they want their frequency given out or not. So I don't want to create ill will with the Westwego Police Department. Chief Dwayne Munch is a good man. But anyways, so Bank 1 is fire departments and that one police frequency. And I have some VHF low frequencies that are used by fire departments on a backup basis too, in case we're anticipating a fecal matter hit in the fan blade scenario. Bank 2, I got the 49 megahertz frequencies that are used by baby monitors and low power walkie-talkies. Again, anticipating a fecal matter hit the fan blade scenario, that's why I got those. Then the 5 multi-use radio service frequencies. Then the 22 FRS frequencies. And then I think it's 7 GMRS repeater input frequencies. So that's Bank 2. Then Bank 3 is helicopters. Because I have a hyperfixation with helicopters, and it began when I was a toddler, when my mom showed me a picture of a helicopter in the Reader's Digest, and it's come and gone, but it's pretty strong at the moment. So I got some helicopter frequencies. The talk arounds, got a couple of medevac frequencies, civilian medevac frequencies, and military too. Some business frequencies used by helicopter companies. One government helicopter frequencies, the Mineral Management Service, I think that's what it's called. and some other military helicopter frequencies on the VHF low band. I don't hear that pretty well, unfortunately, because all the electrical noise. I'd have to go way out in the middle of nowhere to receive those frequencies. Okay, and then bank 4 is itinerant businesses, which that can be pretty fun around any shopping center to listen to, even though it might freak out some people, freak out the employees, but pretty funny. I also have the VHF low itinerant business frequencies and other simplex business frequencies. Bank 5 is every conventional EMS frequency. No, I take that back. Not in this scanner. Bank 5 is most conventional EMS frequencies that are not narrow banded. I got the two VHF low frequencies for Red Cross. I have all of the VHF high frequencies for EMS. I have the UHF med channels that aren't narrowband. I have a federal government search and rescue frequency and a federal government medevac frequency, and then some VHF low military medevac frequencies for my EMS. Then Bank 6 is some wide area local businesses. Some are repeater frequencies and some are just high power simplex. It's some chemical plants, stuff like that. Other companies that interest me that are still in FM. I got the dock workers working for Ports of America, which is contracted to the ports of New Orleans. That one's always fun to listen to. Some hospital repeater frequencies that are still in FM. Not too many of those left. Actually, I got the VA hospital. Their orderlies, or that's not the proper term anymore, but the equivalent of whatever orderlies are. Their frequency. It's actually on a federal government frequency, but that's interesting. Bank 7 is airports and fixed-wing aircraft, both general use and some specialized ones. I got the airports around here and also the airports where my in-laws in Talladega, Alabama are. So that's pretty cool. When we visit them, I listen to that. And I also have some companies that do aviation support with the airports on business frequencies. Got a couple of military frequencies on the what would be the 2 meter F, or just above and below the 2 meter FM band. That's a VHF low. Bank 8 is railroads. The AAR frequencies for local ones, and had some of them locked out because they were talking too much. I was tying up my scanner. But I also have one business frequency that's used by the New Orleans and Gulf Coast Railway on VHF high. VHF low frequencies that are used by the derailment cleanup companies. And then some UHF frequencies that are also used by the railroads. I got all of those. And then the final frequency in that bank is the EOT frequency, which that sends out data bursts of brake pressure data, and when you hear signals on that frequency, that means a train's typically nearby. Then Bank 9 is federal government frequencies and also interop frequencies. This is mostly for disaster situations or fecal matter hitting the fan blade. I got that in Bank 9. A couple of military and Coast Guard stuff too. And the 14 inter-squad radio service frequencies that are FM, UHF, used by the military for short-range stuff. I got that too. I usually don't listen to Bank 9 unless I'm anticipating like serious trouble. And then Bank 10 is amateur radio on the 10 meter, 2 meter, 6 meter, and 70 centimeter bands. I got frequencies that are used simplex nationwide, and also got some repeater frequencies in there. So that's the setup of this scanner, mostly for local stuff. Then I got this scanner, which is a Uniden SR30C. Lovely. They even got DMR on FRS frequencies, and that really splits my butt. That aggravates me. But Is DMR even legal on FRS? I think not, but I'd have to look at the updated rules. Okay, so on this frequency, bank 1 is a mixture of interop and some interop for police and fire, but also forest local forestry departments and some state police backup frequencies in Louisiana, but in other states neighboring Louisiana that use such frequencies. Uh, Again, this is for traveling, so that's why I got such frequencies in here, like just traveling, mostly to be informed. Bank 2 is trucking channels. And I will say this is another controversial topic. Uh, there's 11 meters CB, but then above and below 11 meters CB is the free bands. And back in the day, that was used by the government, the military, and some businesses, but now it's all pretty much obsolete. I mean, the military's got a plethora of other frequencies, including satellites. The government's got the nationwide LTE network, and then like I don't think I ever heard any businesses using free band or what's considered free band on 11 meters. But so it's an obsolete band. It's in a band. It's actually two bands, but they're obsolete. They're abandoned. The people on there aren't hurting anybody. So the government really doesn't care anymore that people are using those frequencies illegally. Uh, Actually, uh, on an unrelated note, kind of related actually, free band must have been jumping or around 1991, but I was too young. I was 4 years old to appreciate it. But they had the sunspot cycle going on, which makes 11 meters go around the world, and other bands too around 11 meters go around the world. And it was actually possibly being used by all kind of people back then, not just the bootleggers. So I would have been 4 years old in 1991, so I was too young to appreciate all of that. Nor did anyone in my family was into any of that, unfortunately. So I missed out on what would have been a really lit time to listen to Scanners. And also with that, in 1989, I heard a story of a man who was camping out in the woods and listening to VHF low band, 46 megahertz, and heard President Bush using the phone on Air Force One, totally in the clear. So that's a pretty neat story. And I'm going to say this, a part of me wishes I was born 20 years earlier so I could have appreciated all of that stuff, but that would have been really weird because instead of being 4 years older than my wife, I'd be 24 years older than my wife, and that'd be kind of weird. No offense to Donald and Melania Trump. They got their thing going, whatever. It's to each his own, I guess. They're both consenting adults. Uh, but getting back to the free band, I got several free band frequencies that are heavily used by truckers, and I will say that the truckers using those free band trucker channels, it's actually the stuff they talk about is pertinent to trucking operations, whereas what is legal 11 meter CB, the frequencies that are supposed to be for trucking, channel 17, channel 19, channel 21, and channel 29 on FM. It's a bunch of stupidity on those frequencies, unfortunately, and that kind of stupidity is actually why a lot of people into amateur radio, not me, but a lot of people into amateur radio look down on CBS because of the stupidity that goes on there, which I wish the government would kind of enforce that, or just I wish the people being stupid on CB wouldn't do that, because they could really be a good thing if it wasn't for that garbage. But so I got the free band and the regular CB channels. Got some VHF high channels that are licensed to some trucking frequencies called Gator Freightways. Got the frequency used by LeBlanc and Associates which is a cement company out in Shreveport and Labadeville, Louisiana. And then I have the first 5 or 6 AAR frequencies. AAR is for railroads, but channels either 1. Shucks, I got a pig in my throat. Either 1 through 6 or 2 through 6. In the rest of North America, they're used for railroad operations, but in the United States, they're used for trucking and buses. So I have that in there. Then I have some local business band repeaters that are used for trucking. And then I have the Canadian trucking frequencies as well. And then the last few frequencies are some free band frequencies that are for the military, but never once heard traffic on them. But I figure if that's what military convoys would be using in a fecal matter hitting the fan blade scenario. Then Bank 3 is railroads, quite similar to how I have on that scanner, but with more frequencies, because this scanner holds 50 memory channels and that one only holds 40. So then Bank 4, I got itinerant business, similar to that one, but with more channels. Bank 5 is the 49 megahertz low power frequencies, all the FRS and GMRS frequencies, all the multi-use radio service frequencies. Let's see what else I got. And then I got some free band and some CB frequencies that are not really for trucking. And then Bank 6 is some National Guard VHF high and low frequencies. Again, I have that for fecal matter hitting the fan blade scenario because I don't think the National Guard in Louisiana uses those frequencies, but the National Guard in other states do. Bank 7 on here is the federal firefighters, or Boise Interagency Fire Cache, I think is what it's officially known as, because they take off from the airport in Boise, Idaho. I got the VHF high, UHF, and a couple of aircraft frequencies on that bank. Then, let's see. Trying to see what Bank 8. Bank 8 is the VHF low EMS frequencies, the VHF high EMS frequencies, Red Cross, and the UHF med frequencies. All that's not, and then the 2 federal frequencies that are used for medevac and search and rescue. So that's Bank 8. Everything but the narrowband stuff. Then let me see. Bank 9 is local forestry or state forestry departments. Not just in Louisiana, but also Mississippi and Alabama, and maybe a little bit Tennessee. And then Bank 10 is what I got for helicopters, and I've got the VHF aircraft AM frequencies that helicopters use locally and regionally, and of course the 3 Unicom frequencies. But I also got the VHF low frequencies used by the military for helicopters. And that's my scanner setup. That's the 2 scanners I carry. This one I use more and for local stuff, but I carry them both in my everyday carry backpack. This one, if I'm traveling, whether it be across Louisiana or into Louisiana's neighboring states or just mostly throughout the rural South, that's what that one's for. And the antenna I have on this one is it's a knockoff of a knockoff of a knockoff, several times a knockoff, as one friend of mine at church pointed out. And this gentleman, he's like an older, thinner, much smarter version of me, but he's a good friend. And I always appreciate his wisdom, and dude's awesome. His name is Jesse Graffam. Good, real good guy.
I wasn't going to say his name.
Okay. No, that's all right. But this antenna is a wideband, and it gets down way into the HF band on the CB and the free band. It pulls those frequencies in, and it also gets VHF and UHF. So it's the perfect all-around antenna for a scanner like this. And I will also say this: there was a power outage for like an hour several months ago, and that power outage, because it was in the month of December and it was cool and it was a sunny day, and the sunspot cycle is also going on. Uh, Whenever I try here in VHF low traffic and some HF traffic, it's always nothing but static and everything, and that's because all the electrical noise around us just from modern living. You know, you got your Wi-Fi, you got your computer equipment, you got your televisions, you got all your electronics, and then you got your appliances too, and then you got the electrical grid. It all makes so much noise and interferes with scanner listening on those lower bands. But when that power outage was going on, I was hearing EMS on VHF low band from around the country and possibly from around the world. Was also hearing VHF low military traffic. It was, man, it was awesome. I'd never seen anything like that. Uh, but yeah, that's the two scanners I use uh, every day, and I hope I've been informative. And thank the good Lord, I found my wedding ring.
Where was it?
Uh, I usually put it on the cold water faucet because I like put it around the faucet to secure it so it don't go down the drain whenever I shave or bathe. But it was on the hot water faucet, and I totally overlooked it. But I'm glad I found my wedding ring, and I'm gonna have to get you one that fits, babe. And my wife is recording this video, but y'all have a good morning, and uh,
If y'all wanted to know why Eric was laughing at me earlier or a little while ago,
yeah, I could. It's weird as hell, but
I had my hair like this.
I thought it was weird, but it's kind of funny too.
Over my nose or under my nose.
That's
over
weird,
my
babe. Upper lip and mouth and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's goofy as hell, but my wife can be so goofy. But I love her.
I love you too.
All right, we signing off.